Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be doing a dark matte makeup tutorial. I've used shades that are very classic fall winter and I've created a look that's dramatic but still wearable. I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get started. I'm going to start with foundation and I'm using the new Maybelline BB Cushion foundation. This has just launched in India and I'm actually trying this for the first time right now on camera. So it's basically a cushion foundation. It's supposed to have high coverage with a very moisturizing formula. So I'm just dabbing it onto my skin, and on first impression you can see that the color is slightly light for me. They've only launched 2 shades and this is the darker shade. I found that this has light to medium coverage. It's not very high coverage, but it definitely feels moisturizing and it's not too dewy, so it doesn't feel greasy on the skin. Next, I'm going to use the Bharat and Dorris loose powder, and I'm using this only to mattify my eyelids before I start my eye makeup. I'm using the Makeup Revolution Salted Caramel palette and I'm using this medium brown color, and I'm going to lay this down as a base all over the lid, including the crease area. Next, I'm using this peachy brown color and this is going to go slightly above the crease. I'm using this to add a bit of gradient, starting with a soft brown on the lid, going to a peachier brown in the crease. And I'm also using this along my lower lash line, but only on the outer half. Next, I'm going to mix these two darker colors. First, I'm going to take the lighter of these two and apply it quite generously all over the lid. I'm using patting motions to get the maximum color intensity. And by layering these colors like this, using a lighter color first and a darker color over it, you can build up the intensity and just give a little more depth to the shades. Then I'm using that darker color only in the outer corner for a bit of gradient. Then going back in with my clean blending brush, I'm going to blend out the browns that I've just added, just for a seamless, smooth transition. To give a clean finish to the brow bone area, I've used a light matte color from the palette. You can also use just your compact powder or a loose powder. Now going in with this slightly shimmery brown, I am just going to add it over the lid, and later I realized I didn't really need to do this, so you can skip this step. This is just to add a little bit of dimension to the eye makeup. It just adds a hint of shine, not really shimmer, but just a little more dimension. Next, I'm going to use the Fit Me Concealer by Maybelline. I'm using the shade Medium. I'm adding this in my under eye area and a little bit around the nose and mouth as well, where I have some areas of pigmentation. Invincible. And then I'm using an oval brush just to blend the concealer out. To set my concealer as well as the rest of the face, I'm using the same loose powder that I'd used in the beginning. This is the Bharat and Dorris loose powder in the shade 04. And once my concealer and powder is done, I'm going to go back in with the light brown I'd used on the lid in the first step and use it along the lower lash line. For adding some definition to my upper lash line, I'm using the Nykaa Black Magic Liquid Eyeliner. This is a black liquid liner and I'm going to do a winged eye with this. With that done, I'm now going to fill in my brows using the Freedom Brow Pomade in the shade Ash Brown. I'm using an angled brush. This one is by Zoeva, to fill in the gaps in my brows. Coming to the lashes now, I'm first going to curl my lashes. Then I'm using the L'Oreal False Lash Superstar Mascara. This comes with a 2-step mechanism. The first step is a lash primer which applies like clear white, and once this dries, I'm going to apply the mascara from the other end. And I've also used a pair of demi wispy lashes. I'm going to put the details in the description box below. Coming back to the face, I'm going to contour my face using the Bahama Mama Bronzer from theBalm. I'm using a small contour brush by Sigma for this step, and I'm using this to add some shadows under the cheekbones and along the jawline. This is just going to give a more sculpted look to my face. Once that is done, I'm going to use a blush, and I'm using the Makeup Revolution Blush Goddess palette. I'm using the leftmost peach shade. What I like about this palette is that all the blush shades are quite light, very pastel. So whenever I'm doing a really dramatic eye or a bold lip, I can use one of these blushes because they're really soft and just add a hint of color to the cheeks. To highlight, I'm going to use the golden highlighter shade from the same palette and a fan brush, and this adds a really nice warm golden highlight to the skin. Now that the face is done, I'm going to do the lips, and I'm using a combination of the NYX lip liner in the shade Dark Soul with the liquid Suede lip cream in the shade Cherry Skies. First, I'm using the lip liner to line and fill in my entire lip area. If you want to do a dark lip, you can just leave this liner as it is. It's a really nice dark plum color. But I want to do a wine lip, so I'm going to add the NYX Liquid Suede Cream Lipstick on top. And once this dries, it's going to go completely matte. And that is the finished look. The final look is quite dramatic, but I think it's still wearable. I did not use a kajal or anything on my lower waterline on purpose, just to keep the eye makeup a little soft and not too smoky. So that's the final look. I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all soon in my next video. Bye.